So once I had that first scare of losing my child, my first child, from then on out, she would make me go to the hospital for every single thing, and I went to the gynecologist a lot because she wanted to go, and she would basically go with me to every single appointment. And back then, I thought she was just being a good mom, and looking back at it, I'm like, oh my God, she was literally, I was nothing more than a surrogate to her. So fast forward, I'm in high school. I did graduate, but prior to my graduation, I did have my baby. He was born in November, and so he was born at the end of November. I believe it was probably during like Thanksgiving break. I don't recall that long ago. And I remember like I didn't go back to school for a little while and all of those things. But after I had him, I would actually take him to school, and I had enough credits that I was only going to school for half of a day, so like 3 periods. I would drop him off at the front office with his grandmother, my ex's mom, and she would watch him, and then I would go get him, and then I would go home. So I did end up graduating high school, and there was a lot of animosity between me and his dad's relationship. He was very controlling, he wanted to hit me a lot. And I will say, at the end, like towards the end of this part of my life, I did lash back out because I got tired of it. I got tired of being the victim. I got tired of being treated like crap. So I did hit back. I did fight back. And I know that the incident that led up to all of this, I walked outside. I left my baby in the house with my mother. He was fine. I don't recall if he was in like a bounce or whatever, but I did walk outside and I was arguing with him. And after I got off the phone, I went to walk back inside and I was locked out. And I was like beating on the door and I was like, just let me have my child and I will leave. Should have gone to my grandma's. I should have called the cops, to be honest. And thinking back on it now, I feel stupid because this could have probably changed the whole situation. But unfortunately, I didn't, because I was a child. In a child's mind, you don't think like that. But what I ended up doing was I ended up kicking her car and denting the fender. And of course, the neighbor saw it, being the nosy bitch she was. And she walked across the street and told my mom. And then, of course, my mom called the cops. And then, of course, I got in trouble and got asked to leave despite the fact that they wouldn't give me my child. And then, of course, DCF got involved, right? Now, mind you, when all of this occurred, I was a minor. So at that point, DCF placed my child with my mother. I did have like supervised visits, but I was there all the time. And I started working. I got like my very first job, and I was providing everything I could. God, I feel like I spent my whole check on him because that was my baby. And I got to spend everything I could on him. I know I feel stupid because I was still maintaining a relationship with his father at that time because he knew how to emotionally control me. And so I was still having something to do with him. And I don't feel like I was in a full-term relationship with him. It was more like sexual, I believe, at that point. But to me, like, I wanted to be in a relationship because that's who I thought I loved. Turns out I didn't. So with all of that being said, like, we ended up going to court. They tried to give my child to his father, saying that he did nothing wrong. And I tell you what, I have never been so pissed in my life. And they painted me out to be a monster. They said that I dropped my child to attack others. Do you know how crazy that is? Now, mind you, my child didn't have any bruises on him. He didn't have no marks. But I remember it felt like a witch hunt. Like, it was me. I did all of these things to my child. I threw a screwdriver at his dad's head while he was holding him. God, there's so much other stuff. And I feel like I'm going to make another video with the court documents that they said. So I'll get into that later. But with all of that being said, they literally tried to give this man my child and didn't say that he did anything. It was all me. I was a horrible mother, despite the fact that I was still in high school when I had him and still managed to graduate and was getting up every morning, getting myself dressed in my newborn as a teenage mom, going to school, and then bringing him back home. But I was a shitty parent, right? While this man was out partying and doing God knows what and not providing anything for his child. Do you know who provided the diapers? Because it damn sure wasn't him. It was his dad, and it was my mom, and it was other people. It was not him. But he had a job, but he was too sorry to provide anything for his child. So with all of that being said, I did want to make a part 2, but I did kind of want to touch on how this all occurred and what kind of happened. So this is more of a video that was really short and kind of like summed everything up pretty quickly because I haven't made a video in a couple of weeks. So I will be making a more lengthy video about the things that were done and things like that. So thank you for watching my videos, and please stick around for part 2.